Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and welcome to the wonderful world of controlled speech. Now, a lot of people have made videos about this, and they've concentrated on one particular aspect, and it's a fine aspect to concentrate on, and I will touch upon that most people are talking about. But I want to take it a step further because I think there is something really intrinsically flawed with the law that the MPs have just voted through. Now, as part of the employment bill, there is the section that says that employers are responsible for offences against their staff or their patrons. It's an assault on free speech, but it's far deeper than what it first appears. And this vote could see an end to a lot of things. Very, very, very nasty law. And I can't see a way round what's happening. It's one of these things where it's going to have to take the courts to decide what we can and can't say, what we're allowed to say, to the point where you will not even be allowed to express an opinion. Now, the Tory party have torn into this for obvious reasons. They dislike this immensely. They're saying that this attack on what they are calling pub banter, which is what most people are doing their videos about, they're saying it's obviously ridiculous, and it is, but it's divisive, and it's nasty, and it's fascist. It's controlling speech, and therefore fascist. But what they're saying is, within the constructs of this law, if I was sitting in a bar, having a chat with a friend privately, because you're in a public place, there is no expectation of privacy. And therefore, if I tell a joke, and the barman or barmaid finds that offensive, they can go to the owner or the manager of the bar and say that they were offended by my joke. The barman would then come, or the bar manager would then come out, address me, tell me that I'd been offended, or been offensive, even though, and here's the really weird thing, being offensive is not in itself a crime. But under this, it is. So they would then tell me, I have to leave because I've been offensive, and they'd throw me out the pub for being offensive, just because one person was offended. That one person could then report me. That one person could then report me to the police for being offensive. However, because that person spoke to the bar manager is obliged by this law to report me to the police. And it doesn't have to be a member of staff. It could be another customer sitting behind me, not part of my conversation, could then go up to the bar manager and say, those two said something and I didn't like it. Again, we'd be thrown out, and the police would have to, by law, be obliged to call the police and report it. And that's where most YouTubers have been going, because this is really bad. This is banter. This is jokes. Who says what is offensive? What is the line of offensive? I could tell a joke about, the old mother-in-law joke, I was sitting at home with the wife and there was a knock at the door and it was the mother-in-law. I hadn't opened the door yet. I knew it was her, though, because the rats were throwing themselves on the traps. Thank you, Les Dawson. Now, there's some people who say, well, that's very deeply offensive. That's misogynistic and all that. And if I did that in the pub and someone complained, the police would have to be called because I was being misogynistic and hate speech against women. Or rats. And that's insidiously bad. But that is only one aspect of this. Think about this. You go to a comedy club. Comedian gets on, cracks a few jokes, and we know comedians are, by their very essence, often offensive. Offensive humour, it's funny. Jimmy Carr, for example. He makes a point of being an equal opportunities offender. He offends everybody, and he doesn't care. Now, if you're sitting there as an audience member and you're offended, you can go up to the management of the club and say, that comedian was very offensive, please call the police and report him. And they would legally have to do that. But it wouldn't have to be a customer either. It could be one of the, say, the stage manager or the guy that does the lighting rig. They can all do it. So what happens then? All the comedy clubs close. All the comedians are out of work. All those people who work in those theatres and clubs and things, they're out of work. Yeah? All the people telling jokes are in prison. Think about this on TV. Someone said, oh, I didn't like that. That was on TV. But he's an actor in a series. I didn't like it, but he did a day of work. Therefore, he was doing that. Oh, I'm going to phone up and complain. I want to complain to the producer of that show. That producer, as the manager, would legally have to report that offence. And so that actor and the writer could both end up in prison, according to this law. Films, gone. Theatres, gone. TV, there ain't no more TV. YouTube, in Britain anyway, gone. Everything, gone. Nobody be at work because every mother will be in prison. And all it takes is one person to complain. And it could be something mild. It could be a Les Dawson joke. That's the world we live in thanks to this stupid law. So I would suggest that once it comes in, we all complain. We all become the most delicate snowflakes and we report everything. But what we do is we wait until a politician has opened their mouth on television and we report that as being offensive. And therefore the Prime Minister, we report it to number 10. Let the Prime Minister do it. He's their boss. He must, by law, report it. That's the law. So let's do it. And let's go, boom, report. Let's tie up the police on this shit and overwhelm them with this shit until it's coming out of their ears. And then keep doing it until the next Parliament, someone else is in, and let's hope to God they repeal this absolutely crazy, stupid, fascist law. Now, I know that the Free Speech Union, Toby Young, are in on this at the moment. They're jumping all over it. Nobody's got an answer. Nobody's asking these questions. They all seem to be pushing for banter in pubs. But what about banter in the workplace generally? And comedy clubs are a workplace. Television studios are a workplace. Film sets are a workplace. The House of Parliament is a workplace. Report them all and don't stop. Don't let up. Thanks very much. Bye.